Hi, I'm Karl Konrad and I'm part of the Australian Immigration Law Services team. On this channel we explain how visas work, share the requirements for different types of visas, give you tips and update you on important Australian immigration news. In this video I'll be discussing the latest news for this month, such as the Australian Government's report into skilled migration, the new 491 regional occupational lists, new changes to parent visa laws, and if the new Minister for Home Affairs will bring with her a more positive approach to immigration to Australia. The federal government's Joint Standing Committee on Migration has announced its interim report on skilled migration to Australia. Skilled migration includes most visas that are based on your occupation, employment, or business. The report gives a good insight of what we may expect in the future for skilled migration. Interestingly, they have found as a result of the COVID-19, over 500,000 temporary visa holders left Australia, resulting in significant skill shortages and job vacancies in November last year, reaching 254,000 vacancies, higher than any point in the last 10 years. In Western Australia, 1 in 3 businesses has skilled labour shortages, and more than 1/3 of business in the Northern Territory have identified their greatest challenge over the next 3 to 6 months to be attracting and retaining staff. Key points from the interim report's recommendations are that the committee recommends that the Department of Home Affairs be required to provide greater transparency on where employer-sponsored visa applications are in the queue, to allow employer-sponsored workers to work for multiple employers without making applications for new visas, for the priority migration skilled occupation list to be expanded urgently to include chefs, veterinarians, cafe and restaurant managers, and seafarers. In addition, but not so urgently, civil engineers, electrical engineers, motor mechanics, cooks, carpenters, electricians, and other roles in hospitality, health, trades, agriculture, and manufacturing sectors also be placed on the priority migration skilled occupation list, to reserve places on flights for quarantine for skilled migrants, and for all employer-sponsored visa holders be given a clear pathway to permanency. If these recommendations are put into action, this will make getting a visa relatively easier for many, and that's very good news. The new 491 New South Wales Regional Occupation Lists were released on the 1st of April for the various New South Wales Regional Development Authorities, referred to as RDAs. The various regions have their own different lists, so make sure you check them out individually. The link will be in the description below. For example, the Arana RDA now sponsors accountants. They also have quite a large range of occupations on their list, as well as including cooks and chefs. Many regions have dramatically increased the occupations available, but most now only accept applicants from Stream 1 and Stream 2 pathways. They are working and living in regional New South Wales for 12 months and living and studying in regional New South Wales for 2 years. Please check each individual RDA website for their individual requirements. The legislation recently passed now allows certain parent visas that normally could only be granted if the visa applicant was outside or inside Australia to be now able to be granted no matter where they are. These arrangements will remain in place for the period of the pandemic, but not forever. The grant of the Subclass 103, Subclass 143, and the Subclass 173 visas to applicants who are usually required to be outside of Australia when the visas is granted, but are in Australia during the COVID-19 pandemic under certain circumstances. The grant of the Subclass 804 and Subclass 864 visas to applicants who are usually required to be in Australia when the visa is granted, but are outside of Australia during the COVID-19 pandemic under certain circumstances. If you're not sure, get in touch with the case officer handling your file. Gold Coast MP Karen Andrews has been promoted to one of the most senior positions in the federal government after being appointed Minister for Home Affairs. She takes over from Peter Dutton, who moves to the Defence portfolio. We are, of course, hoping she will inject a new, positive approach to skilled migration to Australia, as well as a more compassionate approach to the more difficult issues of families in detention and cases which require intervention. The interim report into skilled migration brings us hope that Australia is looking for a more positive migration outcome. However, regardless of the best intentions of the new minister, The recent lockdowns due to the virus escaping from returned travellers to the general public has reinforced the reality that the country is perhaps not ready for the borders to be open anytime soon. Students waiting to return to Australia and other temporary resident visa holders will probably have to wait until the whole country is vaccinated, a process which may no doubt take the rest of this year. It seems from the way things have been progressing that not even all the Australian citizens and or permanent residents and their family members will be able to get home this year. Let's hope for more progress on the vaccination front in our future editions. Until then, keep up to date, subscribe to our channel and like us on Facebook. And if you need any assistance in migration matter, please book a time to discuss with our paid Zoom, Skype or telephone consultations. As always, take care out there and I will see you next time. So bye for now.